Hi, friends. Welcome to today's message. In keeping with the theme and the overall energy of this message, I am going to just slow down a bit today. And I want to first address who this reading is for, because this reading is very clearly talking about a type of entrepreneurial energy. This is talking about creators who don't just want to manifest. I don't think you're just purely interested or even like, I don't think there's a lot of awe when it comes to manifestation or even a lot of mystery. Like, I don't think you're the type of person that kind of needs to go and watch manifestation videos or things like that. I think you are very aware of your ability to create whatever kind of reality, not maybe not whatever kind of reality, but I think you have examples of your ability to like exert your will is what I'm saying. Um I just think that you have examples. Like, if you have gone out and looked for a job and you've gotten the job that you have like visualized and prepared for, if you have needed to move, you have been able to make that happen. This isn't like grand kinds of, exorbitant like examples, but I think you're aware of how intention and action come together to create manifestations, and that you are always manifesting. It's just about being able to adjust our awareness and attune to different, frequencies and things like that. But this is talking about someone who wants to create in line with a higher sense of purpose. And this is like aligning with a divine kind of will. This is really talking about, I think that, and this is going to lead now into the message, because I'm getting a little bit of analysis paralysis, because there is such an importance placed on this creation and this like kind of business venture, if that's what it is. But this is like, I'm seeing this is for someone that really is wanting to move away from almost all types of like established structures. This is like, forms of authority, things that, and in that I mean like how in certain, I would say career in certain career fields there are certain qualifications, or even like getting into like certain schools to learn about certain things. People have set up, these barriers to entry. This is like kind of not seeing those as valuable, really wanting to, I'm just getting something, creating something outside of what is already established. Again, a very innovative kind of progressive nature that I feel like, because of those established barriers and kind of rules or whatever, there are a lot of things that in creating what it is that you want to create, you want to avoid because you have perceived like the harm. In so doing, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think you know as much as you need to know about that. And now it's time to like, again, adjust our attention, because I think you're focusing so much on what you want to avoid that there's that paralysis in actually doing the thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of maybe mental preparation. So there's a note here about kind of striking a balance between the planning and the preparation and the actual action and the doing. I'm also sensing you could really struggle with imposter syndrome. This is like, and again, it's very interesting because I think you have, part of the reason you want to create what you want to create is like rooted in the fact that I think you are aware that the people either that are doing it wrong, or that there are people that aren't doing it. It's almost like there's this fear that if you step out and truly are seen and gain some type of audience, that someone will come forward and say that you don't have the qualifications even though you do. And I think even part of what you're trying to do, though, is bring light to the fact that the qualifications don't really mean what they are supposed to mean. Like, the appeal to authority fallacy. This has popped up in a previous reading where this is, again, someone that is preparing to step into a leadership role. This feels like this is just your destiny. Like, you have things to say, and the way that you say them will naturally draw an audience. I don't think that you really like are necessarily looking for that, but in just what you were doing, your work and your connection to this like destiny, this is what is meant to happen. So there's that imposter syndrome of like someone trying to say that you don't have enough time, you know what I mean? You don't have enough experience, oh, you don't have whatever qualifications, and all of these things are made up. And I think you have enough examples of how even people with all of those qualifications that can check all of those boxes ultimately fail to kind of this feels like some type of like service thing, but I'm just seeing like, they kind of fail to live up to whatever it is. The advice is I'm seeing that there is and I'm seeing this is naturally you're like in moving towards this, the universe is helping show you where this kind of fear lies and is giving you opportunities to overcome it. But this is like in tandem with the analysis paralysis, there is a little bit of advice to wait. I'm seeing there is something that is not being seen completely clearly yet, because there is, and this is literally talking about a perspective shift that needs to be moved away from. This is a limiting belief that is kind of keeping you in this fear based place. This is, we literally have the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Swords here connected to this Seven of Swords. So there is a need to kind of take a pause and just, I feel like this is reminding yourself about why you are doing this. And again, I feel like what is at the root of this is honestly like, I think you want to free other people. You want to show them the truth. Truth is so heavily emphasized here in whatever this kind of whatever this like venture is, whatever this is that you're wanting to create. Ultimately, you're wanting to enlighten people. And so I'm even getting a kind of fear of like what that stirs up essentially. But once you were able to free yourself from this illusion that you are not prepared, is what it feels like, that that you're not the right person for the job, that is when so many other things fall into place. I'm seeing once you are able to kind of step into this more active, more vocal, is also what I'm getting. This is, we do have the Ace of Swords here talking about communication in that way. And I get that this will be a little bit of a challenge. Literally the imagery in this Ace of Swords that I have is a hand that's coming up out of the ground with a sword. So it does feel like there are some challenges to overcome. There are some barriers to break through. But in so doing this, like along the way, you will find people that are here to help you build what it is that you're trying to build. I do see there is community and there are people that will that will help you in this journey, and then that leads to the success. This Six of Wands here, this is really talking about the success lies on the other side of this illusion. And that is the important thing that I really want to talk about, is that these limitations are illusions. They're based in feelings, to be honest, instead of being rooted in intuition and discernment, if that's making sense. Lastly, there's just a little note here about the energy of like being one's own boss. This is a very like Aries energy, where there is just a need to trust in yourself. There's a need to not be concerned with what like the masses are saying. And the thing about Aries is like, Aries is the kind of sign that will just go off and do its own thing and doesn't intend for anyone to really follow them. Like Aries isn't doing things out of performance in the hopes that they get an audience. Aries is doing the thing because it's the thing that they have to do. Like there's no telling Aries to do anything different. If Aries wants to do something, they're just going to do what they want to do the way that they want to do it. But it is that very aspect, that kind of like self I don't know why I can't think of the word. But I was like that, just being that sure and that confident in yourself, and honestly not caring or even considering so much about whether anyone else will want to do what it is that you're doing, that attracts people to it anyway. And Aries, funny enough, is also the kind of energy that is like, well, I'm going to go do this because there are too many people here. So I'm going to go create my own thing anyway, because I'm not going to try to get into your club. And then people show up, and our Aries is like, well, now there's too many people here now. So I have to go create this new thing again. And it's that kind of energy. You need to stop paying attention to what the people that you feel like that are doing a bad job at the thing that you want to do are doing, and just do the thing that you want to do. This is not needing to seek approval from anyone and just doing what it is that you need to do. This is not needing to have an audience at first and just getting in the groove of what you know that you need to do, because it's just the way that you need to do it, and it's the best way that you know to do it. So this talks about that. This talks about kind of being on your own for some time. This talks about just doing the work because it's the right thing to do. This talks about and you getting a sense of fulfillment just in that. Um and it's like, and then all of this other stuff comes, but it's like you have to get into the vibration of just being okay and knowing that what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing. This is like, I think you're probably the type of person where it's really confusing to you why some of the people that have gained like a certain level of success or have a certain level of influence over people do. And it's like, it's because there's that confidence, whether it's genuine or not, right? There is a belief that what they're doing is justified, that it's the right thing to do, that they deserve whatever, whatever, whatever. Step into that kind of energy and then do the good that I see that you're wanting to do with it. Okay. But there is that energy of personal belief. I think you're so afraid of like potential slip ups or harm, or the things that, again, you observe that you don't want to perpetuate, where it's like you're kind of you're locking yourself up from even doing anything at all. I need to get out of that. All right. I don't think you guys need an oracle for today. This is pretty clear. Give yourself time if you need it, but sort through like the origins of these feelings that you have, if there are any feelings of hesitation or fear around going after what it is that you want to create, because it's important. All right. That's all that I have for you guys today. I hope that this helped. If you want to drop a like or leave a comment if the reading resonated, I really do love hearing from you guys, truly. And it does help me out here on the channel with the algorithm and getting my videos out there. I hope to see you guys next time. Truly, truly. Bye.